Welcome to the Daily Dish with New York Times bestselling author Leanne Ely. Putting vibrancy back into your everyday life and feeding your heart, mind, body, and soul. Join us every day at 1 p.m. Eastern for Motivational Monday, Tuesday's Tip, Wise Woman's Wednesday, Thirsty Thursday, Food Fight Friday, and of course Q&A, where no question is off limits, and Soulful Saturday. Here is your host, Leanne Ely, and the Daily Dish.
You enjoying the music? Here comes all the wise women. I see Jackie and Marguerite and Nancy and Mary Ann so far. Hello. Happy Wise Women's Wednesday. I'm excited about it. Are you? We are talking about personal power all this week. And boy, we're gonna be punching the button today. I'll tell you what. Hello, Noreen. Hello, Helen, Patsy, Juanita. Good to see you all. And of course, who's on the other end of this, right? Jenny's in the house. I'm going to bet Amber is too. And I'm also going to bet that we're going to see our girlfriend. Lindsay. Yeah, Lindsay, duh. Oh, goodness. Hi, Nancy. I'm glad you're here. We are sprinting this week, and I don't know about you, but I'm having a good old time with my sprint. How's yours going? Wednesday's typically a quitting day. This is when the first wave quits. The second wave hits on the weekend. I'm talking, we got to talk about this stuff. We can't pretend everybody just starts and does it. It's not true, is it? That's why I want to talk about it. We're going to be talking about that today. Good for you, Marianne. Sprint's going well, she says. Yay. Hi, Carla. Anyway, we are sprinting. I hope you are pinkied up, just like our girlfriend Noreen here, and ready to do it and keep doing it. I hope so. Also, I want to mention that we have several tools that I'm going to actually be talking about them today. And I'm just going to mention them right now. Is the Take Back Your Life journal. This is one of the most important things I believe that you can start changing your mind and shifting your focus with. If you're using your Take Back Your Life journal. It's super helpful. I'm going to tell you about that at savingdinner.com/journal, but I'm going to tell you more about it as we go along today. Q&A's on Friday. You know that. Send your questions in. You get a chance, an opportunity to get a nutrition question answered or a cooking question or whatever. I'm here to help you. Hi, Deborah. I see Deborah and Yvonne and Jerry and Jocelyn. Good. And there's Corliss too. So glad you're here. But I'm going to tell you all about all these things because you know what? It's really important that when we have something in our lives that's not working, we fix it. That's what this is about. That's what I'm going to be talking about today. And I'm hopeful that this is going to really help you out. There's my girl Lucy and Catherine, Doris, Beverly. Gosh, all the wise women are showing up today, aren't they? So good to see you. Speaking of which, wise women also are really wise and they watch to see exactly what's going on with our supplement of the week. We've got a killer deal this week. They're flying out the door. It's our Bio Omega 3X. Now, I want you to understand something. When we started doing all of our new labeling and everything, our manufacturer came back and said, wait a minute, 120 caps. There's supposed to be 60 there. And I said, well, whoopsie-doo. You've been doing this for us for over a year. Anyway, we have 80 bottles of this left and it's flying out the door. When the new bottles come back with the new labeling on it and everything, it'll be down to 60 caps. So this is a screaming deal. You're going to get this. If you buy this, you're also going to get zinc. This is how you keep your immune system bumped up. This is also how you would get healing happening with wounds, with skin, with whatever is going on. This is an important mineral that we need to have every single day. So I'm just letting you know all the things. Hello, Laura. So good to see you. I always think of it this way, that I get my zinc in every day. There's certain things that are just core nutrients, absolutely core, that they need to be in place if you want to have a very robust immune system, and you want to feel robust yourself. You know, how our cells function is how we function. Because what are we except a collection of cells? Kimberline, do I see you? I'm so glad you're here. Anyway, so that's what I have to say about that. Check out our supplement of the week at savingdinner.com/show. That's where you're going to pick up this amazing deal. You don't have to worry about the zinc. We automatically put it in the cart for you in your box. This is the new book. Yes, no burps, no fish burps, because fish burps are so disgusting. That's what I like about ours. Ours are dry. We have a dry Biomega. And the other thing is it is more stable. Because one of the things about, they did a big expose, this is a while ago, on Biomega fish oil, on any kind of fish oil. And they found a high percentage of it rancid. Oils go rancid easily when they're exposed to air. And guess what? Making those things, difficult. So that's one of the things that I like about this is what they do is they process it and dry it quickly. And that drying it out preserves the efficacy, and it doesn't have that opportunity to become rancid. Because what's the point of fish oil if it's going to be rancid? It's not going to be good for you. It's going to be a problem. Hello, Maria. Good to see you. So anyway, I'm just letting you know. Also, don't forget, you can still get Getting Off the Carousel of Crazy book. It's available with the workbook. You can find it at savingdinner.com/crazy. Now, in this book right there at the very front, there's a dedication. And underneath it, I get out my Sharpie and I put your name on it because I want you to know I see you. And this is important. You know, it's important to be, if you're going to go to all this trouble and you're going to spend some money to read this book, I want you to know that not only am I grateful, but I see you and I want to make sure that you know that you're important. And, you know, we all have the carousel of crazies in our lives, don't we? Mm-hmm. So that's everything that I wanted to tell you about. The other thing is I've got 2 videos up on TikTok. It's coming. You can find that at Leanne_Ely on TikTok. Yeah, I know, TikTok. But, you know, they're just a lot more forgiving than our friends here at the Zuckerberg house. Can we just say that? Not only that, because everybody will see it, and they don't do that with the algorithms. The algorithms here change frequently. We're on Instagram as well. I don't know if you know that. Instagram.com/savingdinner. And guess what? Guess what? Guess what? Guess what? This is important. Every single order that we fulfill in the month of October, you are going to get a 1-pot crock pot bundle of fabulous crock pot recipes. This is $37 value. It is absolutely free. Hey, Mimi, absolutely free. How about that? We are celebrating Crocktober. Don't you think we should be? I think so. What kind of a holiday would it be without our crock pots? They're so helpful, and they help you to get dinner on the table, and it's free. That we will give it to you with your order. It will come. I don't know how we do that. What do we do? Just like we just mail it to you. Email it to you. That's what I wanted to say. And also on Instagram, we are posting a recipe a month, a day for all of Crocktober. Check it out, will you? And go like us on Instagram and say how wonderful we are and comment on our posts. This lets Instagram know that, hey, we're doing something good. So complicated. Don't you think they ought to just say, hey, look, you showed up and you did something that means something? No, that's not how it worked. But we're going to be talking about this today because this is big stuff today. What we're talking about is we've been talking about personal power all week. Well, what I have to tell you today might be a little bit of a cosmic 2x4, might be difficult to hear, but I will tell you at the same time, it's also exciting because you can see the value of putting a little bit of extra energy into your focus. Okay, you ready? And this is our quote of the day, of the week, actually. That which is measured improves. Who knows this? Who knows this? Who has experienced this? I certainly have. And I know exactly what it feels like to be consistent to get the results that I'm seeking. Consistency is everything. But what is behind consistency anyway? That's what we're going to talk about today. Now, I don't know how many of you today saw my post in our Hot Melt Sprint group about this one quote that a woman in one of my workout groups posted. Now, her name is Stephanie, and she said, there were many opportunities to quit, is what she said, but I didn't. And funny enough, she lost 180 pounds in 19 months. 100, that's a whole person in 19 months. And believe it or not, 19 months, it seems like, wow, that's a lot and all of that, but it's less than 9 pounds a month. But just staying consistent and staying in her power is what put her into that place of reaching the goal that so many people don't. She didn't quit on herself, right? Hey, Carol. She said, this is the quote that kept her going. And this is why I'm sharing it with you, because when I see success, I call it out. When I see success and see a hint of what someone is doing, I'm going to call it out because it's going to maybe help someone else. I know that when I saw it, I just thought, girlfriend, I'm going to give you my props, man. That is impressive. That is also a woman who is standing, living, and breathing in her personal power. And isn't that what we do as wise women? We can feel when our wisdom starts to go away, can't we? We can feel it. We feel it going away because we're not using it anymore. When we use it, it grows. It's like a muscle. We flex it, it gets stronger. She said, I want to see what happens if I don't give up. I want to see what happens if I don't give up. How often are you giving up? How often do you just throw in the towel? Well, it's not going to happen. How often do you say, well, it's too hard or too much stress or this, that, and the other thing going on? And I'm not dismissing your life. I'm not, saying, hey, if you can't do it, there's something wrong with you. I'm not. I'm just saying that inside every single one of us as women, we are not little mice. We have been created to be the lionesses that we are. If we will only use our voices and roar instead of shrinking back like little itsy bitsy mice. And that was, part of the whole setup for what we were talking about this week. And what I found is when I decided this, and she said it in a way that I have never said it, but what I found is that when I made a decision to not quit on myself and to go forward anyway, in the difficulty, in the hard stuff, that's when I found a new layer of strength within. That's when I found something inside of me that was just a little bit different than the woman that I knew last week. And I believe that's what we're called to do. I believe that we are meant to stir the pot and to say there is something more inside. You have something more to find, something more to grasp, something more to give. So I think that what I say is that she recognized that in the recreation of herself, that she had, that there was the personal power that was the factor in that wisdom, because she had made a decision for her life. She didn't choose, she decided. She didn't say, well, maybe I will sort of make a choice. She made a very concrete decision. And then when it got tough, she kept saying, well, what if I didn't quit on myself? What if I keep going? I want to see what happens if I don't quit. And that is just an absolute 2x4, because it gives us a little glimpse into what a little tenacity and perseverance and holding on to the course is. I'm going to tell you right now, this woman did not do it perfectly, but she did do it excellently, and she stayed the course. So, and I also want to come back to this because this is where we also get really hung up. I don't know what this woman's plan was at all, except I do know that she uses the same exercise plan that I do. I do know that she's in the same group that I am and that she, bikes sometimes, does the strength classes and whatever else there. I do know that. I don't know how often. I don't know how many minutes. I don't know any of the details. But you know what? It almost doesn't matter. And this is the whole thing. You remember I've shared this quote before, if it were all about a plan, we'd have six-pack abs and we'd all be billionaires. It's true. Because there are tenets of any plan that if we stick with it, we will get at the end of it the wealth, the health, the weight, all of it. But the point is that we don't, because it's not just about the plan. The plan can be perfect. The plan could be ironclad and not a thing, not a jot or a tittle out of whack. But if you don't do it, it doesn't matter. If you start it and then it's Wednesday and you quit day 3, it doesn't matter. And that's the whole thing here, because the plan wasn't what did it for her. It was her mindset. I want to see what happens if I don't quit. I want to see what happens if I don't give up on myself. What about that? So let's talk about this, because there are so many opportunities to quit. And this is, like I said, Wednesday is our typical quit day. That's when all of a sudden the posts start to get a little less. I watch all this stuff, I watch all of it. I am a keen observer watching all of this to see what is going to make a difference. I have done as often as posting every day. I've come on and done videos every day. I've cross-posted, done all the things. And at the end of the day, it hasn't really made a difference. You know why? Because there are so many people who are holding on for dear life to a plan when instead they should be holding on to dear life to their own personal power, because that is the thing that's going to make the plan work, right? The plan isn't magic. It's not. It's common sense and science. And yes, it works. And yes, it works well. But it's not the plan. The plan isn't going to come down from on high and say, okay, and now here you are. It doesn't work that way. It's what's inside of you that's going to go and grab hold of whatever the plan is. And you know what? I will even go so far as to say stuff that I'm not even fond of, they get results. When you see those commercials with Marie Osmond and all that, look, all those people are getting results because they stuck with it. It's just plain and simple. They stuck with it. They said, what if I don't quit? They said, what if I stick with this? What if I stay going? Not quit on myself. Right on, Catherine. We've grit, not quit. There's our girl, Flynn. All right, so I've got a quote from you. One of my favorite authors and thinkers and somebody who I follow quite religiously and read all the books is Dr. Joe Dispenza. He is, if you read his story, he basically broke his back, and the doctor said, without fusing your spine, it's over, dude. And he said, yeah, no, I don't want to do that. And managed to heal himself. And it was all about his mind. And you can understand that if you listen to some of his books or read them. I suggest if you're going to study it, I would study it. I would get a notebook, I would buy the book, and I'd listen to it on Audible and study it, because it is that incredible. I want to go to one of my big goals for 2022, once we're over the COVID scene, please God, at some point, is to go to one of his conferences, because it's supposed to be mind-blowing. But he wrote Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, which I've read twice. It floored me, absolutely floored me. And one of the things that he says is this: if you know that by staying in your present and severing or pruning your connections with the past, you have access to all the possible outcomes in the quantum field, then why would you choose to live in the past and keep creating the same future for yourself? Now, you remember we talked about that, just this, I think yesterday even, we said, we recreate the same thing over and over again and keep living it. Maybe one day, or maybe a week of it. You know, what did we say? What was the thing that we were saying yesterday? I'm going to look at it. We said, we asked, are you ready? Gosh, this is big. We said, I'm just going through the motions. What about living a life that's just going through the motions? This is what Joe Dispenza is calling us on, is stop living the same life over and over again. If you're unhappy with it, it's not going to change anything. And I think as wise women, don't we know this? Don't we know this deep down inside, even if we're not doing it? Isn't that what's calling us to a higher level, a different level of living our lives? I believe this with all of my heart, and I've seen this over and over again, that wise women know that dreams can and do come true. And I'm looking at all these women, these wise women who are in our group who show up consistently doing the same thing over and over again. And their results stand out. You know, they get the results. They're getting the vibrant lives that they want. They're not quitting on themselves. And I'm talking about this today because I believe that when we understand and tap into the personal power that we've all been given by God Himself, it's in our DNA. It can't be missed. It's everything, right? Jocelyn Pinky's up. Exactly. We have to know that it has a lot to do with work and very little to do with magic pixie dust and fairy dust and a magic wand and all of that. You know, we can't just wish upon a star and have it show up. It doesn't happen that way. It happens with the blink of an eye and a decision that's made, of course. But then the work commences. That's just the starting line. That's just the starting line. And I know that what it is, it's this boldness, it's the fierceness, it's the commitment. And I think about that lioness quote that we had from the beginning of the week from Brendan Burchard. That lioness quote was so intense. And I think about that because that is bold. I think about what a lioness is. She's bold, she's fierce, and she's committed to the what is that, a pack? What are they? What do cats, big cats like that, what are they, herds? I have no idea. But she's committed, you know, that they, you know, they're the ones that do the hunting. Did you know that? Pride. Thank you. Pride. I forgot. But it's true. She's the one that they're the ones that do the hunting. They're the ones bringing down the food for the pride. They're the ones doing it. They make a decision. They're fierce and they're bold and they're committed to making sure that those babies, those kitty cats, little cubs, eat. And same with them. So what I think this does is when we get to this place of understanding that boldness, fierceness, and commitment is personal power. That's what it is. You can feel it inside. And that's the good emotion that we want to feel. We want to feel that, what it feels like to emote like that. Excited, on fire, willing to go and be bold and fierce and courageous in order to provide for our cubs, in order to provide. And it clarifies everything, doesn't it? This is the goal. This is where I want to go. This is, I don't want to stop and give up my life. You know, I don't want to give up on this pride. You have pride in the pride, right? They don't sit there and think about it in all of those abstract ways that we do. But what they do is they go and dig inside for their courage because that's how they're built. And so are we. We're built like that. So we have to look at this because when we give over our agendas of what we want in our lives to something way less, that's what we're going to get. Those are what our results are going to be. So I just want to say this too. We're always going to be interrupted. The other day, Caroline was here and my dog, I think I told you this, whizzed all over the house. Just had a little pee-pee attack. My fault because I was busy with her and I should have taken him out and he was standing by the door. And sometimes he stands by the door and just looks at himself in the glass because we have a big front glass door. And other times, well, I blew it. So I had to stop everything that I was doing and clean up this mess Does that need to take me off track? No, but I do need to stop and clean up the mess. You need to stop and take care of your dad or take care of your kids or whatever. We all have things that we need to do, but it doesn't mean we quit. It doesn't mean we quit. This is how life is. And I think wise women know that. Wise women know that 100%. So here's what we need to be looking at. And I remember when I was I think it was in Ireland, and got a car that had this little Irish accent with the GPS, right? Or was an English accent, I don't remember. But every time, like all the roundabouts, remember the roundabouts in Europe? Oh my gosh, they're everywhere. And you miss a turn, it comes back and it says recalculating. You don't pull over on the side of the road and say, I'm done. I missed a turn, so therefore I'm just going to turn off the car, park it, and we're not going. No, what you do is you stay in the roundabout and you go until you finally do get the turn. That's what you do. And the GPS will lead you and the GPS will guide you. Our GPS is our personal power. And if we understand this, and we understand we're going to make a whole lot of wrong turns, we're going to miss it a few times. But if we stay the course, there's going to be a time where we're not going to hear recalculating, because we're going to be on top of it, in charge of it, and going forward and starting to see some progress. Okay. So I like that. And I want to say to you too, with, as far as personal power, is tapping into it is the main thing. Tapping into it should make you feel good. So let's start thinking about, how can I tap into this? How can I tap into this God-given gift that's mine? And I'm going to talk about that. Number one, I've got 10 things for you, real quick, real easy. You ready? Number one is say no when you mean no, and say yes when you mean yes. And if you need to, say I need to think about it. But thanks for asking. Because if you're too fast to say yes and no and then regret it later, you're going to zap your power and start giving it away. And again, you're not leading the agenda, you're giving it away. So think about that for a minute. That's a big deal. And I put this as number one because this was my biggest stumbling point. Especially when my kids were younger, I gave away everything, gave away so much time. And I do to this day regret it, because it took up my time that could have been spent with my kids or doing something else. So the other thing is, use your schedule to help you out. I will tell you, that's just absolutely amazing. And use a pencil so that if you do have to change, you can erase it, and the little perfectionist inside of you won't be screaming. Okay. Number two is your why is all. When you understand your why do you want this? That's when you start to do things, in the right way. That's when you start to take off and go into the into the zone of what it is that you want. You're no longer just putting it off and procrastinating and what have you. Your why is pushing you. It's the why that pushes you. It's the talking about it, writing about it, and deciding, declaring, and decreeing this is what it's going to be. Number four is 100% is so much easier than just 95%. Now, hear me on this one. We've talked about this before. When we are saying, yeah, we're in it, but, I need a little wiggle room, whatever. When I say 100%, I'm talking about 100% commitment, not 100% perfection. Because when we give ourselves a lot of wiggle room, what happens is we oftentimes give ourselves an escape hatch as well. So what I'm saying is just go 100% in. If you mess up, you go 100% in and go back. You don't leave. You don't leave your car sitting on the side of the road and say, well, I missed the turn, right? You just keep driving until you get the turn. Eventually you'll get the turn. There's only so many off-ramps on a roundabout, right? Number five is write your goals out as affirmations daily. This creates a new neural connection in your brain. And we do this. The Take Back Your Life journal has this in it. It helps you to break down, to take the big ideas of everything that you want, break them down, create goals, and then create affirmations out of them that you write every single day. There's a training that comes with this. And I will tell you, for me, it has been remarkable. It has changed my mind because, again, when you're writing things down, there is a connection. Did you know that? Between the nerves that are in your hand, the thumb and the pointer finger, I guess, index finger, there is a connection there that goes right to your brain. This is why I love taking hand notes. This is why I write my show out every day rather than type it. It's easier to type, but when you write it out, it becomes more a part of you. So write it out and write them out as affirmations. I am statements are declarations, right? We need manifestos in our lives. We need to know where we're going and where we want to go. And this is what does it for us. Number 6 is to motivation is the result of doing, not the other way around. Not the other way around. So stop waiting. This is the result of doing. You will feel motivated once you see the result of doing something, right? Number 7, your workouts make your feel-good hormones come on. Otherwise, they're turned off. You want to feel good? Work out. Do a little something. Go take a walk or do some jumping jacks or walk up and down some stairs and allow your little feel-good hormones to get in there to help spur you on. It's incredible what happens. Hi, Denise. Number 8 is accountability is everything. Have you noticed in the Hot Melt 30 people who've stayed the course and kept going and going, the results that they've gotten? And there's a lot more people too. There's Jocelyn and Joanne and so many people. Nancy has gotten results. Look at Deborah. Do you see Deborah's results from her first Hot Melt 30? And they show up every day. That's accountability right there. And it's consistency. And it's tapping into the personal power. Even if you think you don't have time, and you know what? Jocelyn not everybody did it perfectly, right? There were days when Deborah says, hey, I didn't check in today. So what? She stayed the course anyway. Because the one little thing went off, she didn't say I quit. That's why she got those results. So number 9 is comparison is the worst, and it will make you feel the worst. When we spend our time on that, we're not spending our time on what it is that we want. We're spending our time in envy and jealousy and thinking, well, excuses, it's crazy. And it's crazy making. And when we do this, we feel really rotten about ourselves. And all I want to say to you is not an issue at all if you make a decision that comparison is the thief of joy, because it is. So let it go. And instead, stay in your lane. Let me tell you, I'm going to bet you've got a lot going on. So you don't have time for this. Ain't nobody got time for that. Leave it alone and stay in your lane. Number 10, this is my favorite one. Blessed are the flexible, for they will not be broken. If you didn't do it this morning, do it this afternoon, right? If you can't do it till later on this evening, then do it. If you can't do it all, then allow yourself the grace to say, you know what, I didn't do it today, but tomorrow, come hell or high water, I'm in it, right? You know why? And you know why I'm asking you this, right? Don't you want to see what happens if you don't quit? Don't you? Don't you want to see what it feels like to say, I did the Hot Melt Sprint and I didn't quit. I kept going. All 7 days I did it. Not perfectly, but I certainly did it excellently. Because I will tell you that, and that alone is what is going to propel you into the next level of what it is that you want in your life. Getting our food down is just getting the fuel part done. But, let me ask you, is that all your car needs is just fuel? Doesn't it need a lot of other things? We're just like a car, in that way. We need our fuel, and we need the correct fuel so that we can operate optimally. But there's a lot of things under the hood for both you and me. And when we figure those things out and we get that equipment managed and maintained, that's when we start to see a whole different level of what life could be. Vibrancy is on the other side of all of this, by the way. Getting stuck, we all get stuck. But if when you make a decision that you're not going to quit anymore, and you want to see what it feels like to not quit, and just play with that a little bit. there's going to be a whole lot of personal power on the other side of that. And that is the thing that's going to see you through. Wise women know this. You ready to be a wise woman? I know you are. I see so many of you. Look at this. Noreen has lost 56 pounds since January 4th, right? What do you think about that? I just love that. I love your attitude too, Kimberline. That is so good. Oh, Susan, it's nice to see you. Thank you, Deborah. Yeah, it's still a little damp. Anyway, I appreciate all of you. And by the way, new hot melt mix. We're doing a new mix. We've had some inconsistency with the flavor, and I'll tell you right now, the reason why is the citric acid that's in it. If it's too big or too small, it could be a problem. So we started on ground zero, and this is the new one. Yum. Yum. I can't wait for it to come out. Anyway, that's what I have for you today. I can't wait to see you tomorrow for Thirsty Thursday. You going to be there? I sure hope so. Stay sprinting. You've got this. Peace be with you.
Thanks for watching. You can find us on YouTube on the Saving Dinner channel or on the Saving Dinner Facebook page. Check back daily for new episodes, Monday to Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern. If you missed the live show, you can watch the replay. Until next time, pinkies up.